Hello, my name is Wheel, and welcome back to the Wheelhouse. Today, we have a very different topic than my usual topics on the Wheelhouse podcast. We are talking about being yourself. Now, there's definitely a lot that you're probably still asking, like, what do you mean about being yourself? And I will get there, but the reason I am bringing this up today is because recently I went to an AGR concert. If you don't know who AGR is or any of that stuff, I will explain it very soon. But if you are an avid fan of the Crimpy channel and I've been watching for a while, you may know who they are. Now this podcast episode is gonna be a little bit different. In terms of, I'm gonna split it into two sections. In this first section, I am purely gonna be myself. I am gonna talk about kind of AGR, and I'm gonna obviously explain who they are, how I found them, why I like them, and also my experience going to an AGR concert. And I have some pretty interesting stories about going there and kind of experiencing all of that. The second part of this podcast will actually be about, being yourself. And kind of my thoughts on it and kind of my insights about being yourself in this day of age, whether that's on the internet or at school or, around your friends, or kind of just what, you're interested in and kind of how that affects you and the people around you. You kind of see, it's kind of hard to explain, but once we get there, I think you will start to understand. So, I'm going to first start off by being myself. I am going to talk about AGR. So, if you don't know AGR, AGR is a band consisting of three brothers, Adam, Jack, and Ryan. Hence, AJR. Jack is the main singer, while Adam is the bassist, plus the business side of their band. And Ryan can play various instruments, can also sing on some of the songs, and does a lot of the mixing for the songs. So, AJR, what makes them really special is, in terms of their genre of music, I think they definitely touch a lot of different genres. But even then, there's some songs where it's very difficult to pin it to one type of genre. But I would very much describe their music as theatrical, or something you might hear on Broadway or something like that. And as an editor, I find that very interesting and I find that very cool. It definitely gets the cogs turning in my head. And obviously, if you've seen some previous videos, I've used it in previous videos because I think they can really work for storytelling type things. I think this music is very unique. They use a lot of very unique sounds in their music. They like to do a lot of weird stuff to give it this unique sound. And it's just it's overall a pretty cool band. A lot of the topics that they kind of discuss, they try to make it very relatable with all their fans that listen to the music, and it's very much, it can definitely make you look at certain situations differently, or kind of how you think about them. And it's honestly what they sing about, how they make the music. It's really cool. And that's why I'm I think it's a very cool band, and I think there's definitely not everyone likes them. But people do really like them because it is something that it's very difficult to find in many other artists. So there's my second favorite artist comes nowhere near close to AJR. So how did I come around finding them? So Spotify has this feature where I think it has weekly recommendations or something like that. So every week there's this playlist that'll update and show you a full playlist of songs that it recommends to you based off of other songs you have listed on Spotify. And sometimes this stuff can be pretty good, and sometimes it can be pretty bad. But for the most part, it is a pretty solid way to find new music. And one day, I got recommended a song called "Sober Up" by AJR. I've definitely heard AJR before. I don't think it never clicked to me that was AJR. And you've watching this, you have probably listened to AJR even if you don't know it. They have made some of the biggest songs in the past few years. If you've heard of Bang, they've made that. They've made World's Smallest Violin. They've made The Good Part. In the past, they've made I'm Ready, Sober Up, like I've said, Burn the House Down, Weak, I'm Not Famous. There's a lot of songs they have made that have gone very popular over the years, but it never necessarily connected. I don't think many people connected that song with the band. I think a lot of people just looked at that song as an individual. But yeah, so I listened to Sober Up, and I'm like, this is a pretty cool song. I like this. And this was definitely a time where I kind of first got Spotify. I'm like, okay, I want to fill up my playlist. So if I hear a song I like, I'll go to the artist. Maybe they have some more interesting things to listen to. So, I go to the artist page, start listening to music, going through the albums. And this is in if you're interested in when I did this it was sometime in 2020, I want to say. It was definitely sometime in 2020 that I started listening to them. So it's been about 4 years, maybe coming up on 5 here soon. So yeah, I was listening to them. I was like, okay, you know what? This kind of seems cool. And it definitely, I grew obviously really in love with their music. I'm like, okay, this music I can relate to. I like the sound of it. Just everything about it is really cool. And to me, I think another reason why I really grasp to that music is this is something that I found on my own. I feel like a lot of things, especially when I was younger and growing up, a lot of things that I was interested in, I became interested in because of other people that I was hanging out with, or friends, or people like that. So it was it never felt like, oh yeah, this was mine. I was able to find this on my own and find something that is actually cool and enjoyable, and I think that made it so much more special. So I obviously share with a lot of my friends, and a lot of them picked it up. I definitely shared the music with Sparrow, Christopher, Super Striker / Jack. A lot of them started listening to AJR because I'm like, hey, you listen to this. I think it's pretty cool. Or in school they do those at the beginning of the school year, like, hey, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? And sometimes on there, what's your favorite band? Or what's your favorite music? And I'm able to put AJR on there, and a lot of people don't know what that is, and I'm able to kind of explain it to them. And I think that's really cool to have this thing that and not everyone else just knows about it. For example, I like Marvel. I'm like, okay, cool, get in line. Everyone likes Marvel, or everyone hates Marvel, but everyone knows of Marvel. No one's confused when I say Marvel. But AJR, on the other hand, you don't. It is definitely a lot smaller, but they are obviously getting bigger in this fan base. But it's something I was able to kind of discover on my own, and I'm not exactly sure why it makes it. It's just, it definitely feels just that more special finding it on your own. And I think I definitely found that very fascinating, because even younger, yeah, like I said, just doing that. But if my friend would play when I was younger, I pretty much had one friend online. So let's say they would play this one game, they'd play Rainbow Six Siege. It's like, okay, well, I don't necessarily know, I didn't go out of my way to play that game, but since my friend's playing it, I'm playing that game. I like it now. Rainbow Six Siege is just fun. Grand Theft Auto, okay, you know what? Sure, my friend's playing it. Now I'm playing it. Now I love this game. So it's definitely being able to break that and find something on my own is just, it was really cool. It's something pretty awesome. So I definitely, if you listen to this, if you're able to find something on your own, that is awesome. Go out there. There are cool things out there that not everybody knows, and it's definitely hard to kind of find those new things, but it's also really, really cool when you do. and you're able to kind of share it with everyone, or kind of, you know, I definitely like explaining things people don't know. Not like mansplaining. I don't think I even use that term right. Um, but like, for example, going to Disneyland. If someone has been to Disneyland, I'm like, let's fucking go to Disneyland. We're going to Disneyland. I'm gonna show you where the best rides, where the best places to eat. You know what is so cool about Disneyland. I like, you know, kind of touring them around and showing them stuff. When someone hasn't listened to AGR, I'm like, dude, get over here. I'm gonna start showing you some music. Like, look at this music. Like, this is so awesome. I'm like, that's so cool. And then when I find someone else, like, since AGR is not the biggest thing ever, when I find someone else who's a fan of it, I'm like, oh my god, we both like AGR. This is awesome. Are you kidding me? Like, let's go. And then, you know, we have something to talk about. Because, you know, again, not everyone is a fan of this, and it's like, it's cool in that way. Like, for example, in last year, in my digital photography class at school, my teacher is just somehow an AJR fan, and he even played because I realized that he started playing music in like their music in their class. I'm like, what the heck? Am I hearing AJR right now? And then, you know, I have a lot of AJR shirts. It's not fully my fault. My family's like, oh, you like this one thing? We're going to get you a bunch of it. And I'm not necessarily complaining, because AJR shirts are cool, in my opinion. But, you know, I wear AJR shirts because, you know, it's just a lot of shirts I have. And one day my teacher comes up to me, he's like, oh, AJR, huh? It's like, oh, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, I listen to them. I'm like, oh, my God, really? Like, that's cool. That's, like, such a cool thing that can happen. But anyways, I think it is time to move over to the AGR concert. So I have a bit of histories with AGR concerts, and let me actually explain the significance of AGR concerts and how it's very different from your typical musician's concert. Because a typical musician, there are a few that will go really big, but a lot of them, they go on stage, they play some songs, maybe there's some screens in the background that will, you know, kind of show some stuff accompanied with the song, but most of the time it's the artist going up there and singing with a live band. Sometimes they'll lip sync and not actually sing, but you know, that's only some artists. How AGR is very different is they approach kind of what a tour could be, and they very much look at it as like, okay, what if we did this but as like a Broadway musical? So they'll have elements where it is very theatrical, and, you know, there'll be a lot of these screens and special effects. So, like, they'll sometimes have them wired up and, like, flying through the air or spinning in the air. I will show, I think, I have some recordings from the concert I just went to. I'll show recording of that at the end of this segment. But they do a lot of these very theatrical things that you won't find your usual concert. So I really want to go to it, because for one, I've never been to a concert before, and two, you know, it's AJR, and three, that's cool. Like, seeing theatrical things like that. Like, I don't think I'm a massive like Broadway person, like seeing things like that, but it's still cool to see that, like, especially accompanied with like your favorite music. Like, that is awesome. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to go to this. So they had one like online once, and I went to the online one. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I pretty much, since I've liked them, I've watched like recordings of all their past concerts. I'm like, dude, this looks so sick. This looks just so fun. I want to go to this. So, you know, what I do is, like every normal person, is I buy tickets to their tour. I went to their OK Orchestra tour, which is based off of their OK Orchestra album. So, you know, get the tickets. It's during the summer. I'm like, cool, awesome tickets. I'm going over to, I'm flying over to my friend's place, Spyro, and I'm going to see them there, and I'm going to watch it with some friends that I don't usually get to see in person. I'm like, this is a really cool experience, or this will be a really cool experience. Before that, I also actually go to Hawaii, though. And to kind of give you a time frame of when this is about 2021, 2022. I don't remember exactly. COVID is still very much a thing. And, I go to Hawaii, and I'm like, it's a fun time. But then one day I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. I'm feeling a little sick here. It turns out I got COVID from Hawaii, and this is about week before the concert. And at the concerts, they're checking for COVID, because COVID's still very much an issue, and obviously they don't want people getting COVID. So unfortunately, I was not able to go to that concert, and I'm like, fuck, man, this actually sucks, because I was so hyped for it. I was waiting for it for months. I believe Sprout got me tickets for it for my birthday the previous summer in September, or even earlier maybe. I'm not entirely sure when, but Sprout got me tickets for it, and I was very hyped to go. And unfortunately, the worst thing happened, and I was not able to go. So I'm like, okay, fine. You know what? I'll go to the next one. Next one comes the Maybe Man tour, based off of the new album, The Maybe Man. You have heard some of their songs if you've watched this previous rewind on my channel, my main channel. So I'm like, okay, we're getting tickets. This was back in November that we went and we got tickets. As this time staying in Los Angeles, and I was gonna go see it with my friend Christopher and Jack. And this time, I didn't get COVID. My foot broke. I did go to the tour with my foot broken, which kinda sucks. But it is how it is. So I go there. Foot's broken, but we're good. I was able to make it to the concert this time, and it was incredible. Even to the concert, so in one of their music videos, they wear these suits with paint splattered on them. Like, wow, that's such a cool design. And I'm like, you know what? What if we get suits that look very similar to them and paint them exactly how they did? And that's exactly what we did. At least me and Christopher did. Jack decided not to, but me and Christopher, we got the suits, we painted them, and they turned out really, really well. If you look on my Twitter, I've posted it very recently. While recording this, I'm actually recording this the night after the actual tour. So the tour was last night. But yeah, it was like, oh my god, these suits are awesome. And just so you know, I didn't make the suits just for the concert. I'm also planning to kind of recreate their music video for a school project in all the way in December. So I was planning ahead. I'm like, I can also wear these suits to dances. I'm like, that would be so cool. It's not even an AGR reference. They're just cool suits. They're suits with paint on them. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. So that was really cool. And even while doing this, I was in a AGR Discord server, because I've been in it for a while before even this tour was a thing, but I was in it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to this concert and I'm gonna see a lot more AGR fans out there. I'm like, what if I just actually start talking to server, because they have dedicated channels for each location that I was going. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna talk to these people, see what they're doing. There's other people also making suits like us. I'm like, what the heck? This is so cool. I started talking to people. I'm like, oh yeah, we see each other, this and that. I'm like, this is really cool. This is just awesome. And if you're interested in the Discord server, if you are in fact an AGR fan such as me, the Discord server is AGR Early Releases. I will put I'll put a link to the server in the description if you care to join. But I am now trying to just be more active there, because I just I want to be more part of the community after kind of this experience I have the tour. But anyways, I was talking to people. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. I got to know some of them a little bit more, and kind of what they're wearing, so we can see each other and say hi, what's up, and all that. I did see very few of them, because actually at the venue there was 12,000 people. So it's not easy to see everyone. In fact, if you are also interested in what the venue is, it was the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, or Inglewood. So it was very cool. It was very big. When we got there, I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be so fun. This is gonna be so cool. Um, so yeah, we go in. Obviously, we got our merch. I get some more AGR shirts. I got an AGR shirt bag, AGR bag. Just I got a pin for my suit, like just all these cool stuff, and just like walk around and just like seeing people and all of this like AGR merch. I'm like, where the fuck am I? This is crazy. Like it is so surreal when you're able to kind of go somewhere and just like it is clear that everyone surrounding you is just likes that one specific thing that you also like. Because like when you go to a public school or something like that, yeah, you might find maybe a person here or there depending on what your favorite thing is, but you're not gonna find maybe a lot of people. Going to something like a concert or like a convention is crazy. Like back in 2019, I went to VidCon, and just like back then I wasn't fully a YouTuber, but I was very much into YouTube and I wanted to be one, and I was still creating some videos here and there, and just like being there with all these creators and like just I got a photo with MatPat. I was able to get in line and just talk to MatPat. I walked past Anthony Padilla and could have easily gotten a photo with them, but I was too scared to at the time. You just see these people on stage or like on panels. Like I saw Jacksepticeye. Like what the heck? Like there's just like everything that you saw on the internet is just there, and it's just like right in front of you, and like you're just surrounded by it. I'm like, that is so cool. That is not an experience you can have every day. So like definitely, like if you have something, like try going to a convention, or like if you have your favorite artist, go to a concert and like just like meet some people or just be there, because that's so cool. Like I didn't really end up talking to many people because I'm an introvert, and also a lot of people were on, I think, the older side, kind of. I mean, it is definitely like AJR fans are teenagers to young adults mostly, but I was also just with like my two other friends and my uncle, so I wasn't necessarily going out like, oh shoot, I got no one to talk to. I'm like, no, I got my friends right here. I think we'll be okay. But it was like just so cool walking around. I'm like, whoa, there's like this and this, and then like you hear the music over like just the speakers like outside the venue. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like seeing like their merch in person, just hearing people talking about them. It's like, what universe was I teleported to? Because this is awesome. And obviously we stood out very much. Me and Christopher, we stood out from the crowd just because we were wearing suits with paint on them. So there's definitely a lot of people who's like, oh yeah, cool suit. Or like the people come up, it's like, oh my god, where'd you guys like get that stuff? Like I was wearing this hat. When the lead singer Jack wears this specific hat, and I was able to find that exact one, and I was wearing it that day. I said, oh my god, where'd you get that? They're like, what like which merch stand has it? I'm like, oh no, I just like found it. I found it and I bought it myself. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool. And I was even able to meet some of the people like I was talking to in the Discord server. Like I saw the other people who was also wearing like the painted suits. I'm like, dude, this is this is sick. Are you kidding me? Like this is awesome. And I think definitely one of the craziest interactions I have had is I had these two people come up to me, and like one main one that came up to us and like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like those suits are crazy. Like how'd you do that? Like this and that. And then they showed like their own stuff that they made. They had like these shoes that were like painted with like AGR stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. And we ended up getting a photo. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I it's so weird to kind of, I don't have people like acting that way towards me all the time. Like just able to come up to me and just like, hey, let's have a conversation. Because to kind of like give you a perspective of how I am in real life, it is very different than on the internet. In real life, like if I'm at a school, most likely like at school, I am the definition of a quiet kid. I am the kid in the corner or the kid at the table who doesn't really talk, who kind of just focuses on the work, and not really part of any of these school events or kind of any of that stuff. I'm mostly just in my own sphere, just kind of getting through the day. And just being there, because like in school, like it's high school. I'm in high school. If you are in high school or if you've been in high school, you know how high school kids can be. It's not the best. High school kids, they are judgy, they are immature. Speaking as a high school kid, I do believe I am a little bit mature. I'm not fully there. I'm not giving stuff like, oh yeah, I'm so much just better than these guys. No, I am still a little bit goofy, but it is definitely very different. And like, there's cliques. There's a social hierarchy, kind of. A person, like, okay, that is the popular person, and people, there's just certain things, like, boys don't mix with girls unless, you guys are, the boys and girls are popular and you guys talk to each other. Like, that's just kind of how it is, and it is very weird, and it sucks, honestly. And kind of just being in that atmosphere was like, someone just walked up to me, we don't know each other. I never got their name. Like, there is nothing we know each other. This was not someone I talked to on the Discord server. This is just a random person who was like, you know what this guy's wearing, it's cool. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to talk to them. And I'm going to ask for a photo. And then even afterwards, they gave us a sticker that they made. I'm like, that was one of the craziest things that ever happened. And even later, that photo, they posted onto their Instagram story. Obviously, I had no idea what their Instagram was, but then that was posted onto one of the most popular AGR fan accounts. And that's where I was able to find it. I'm like, okay, that is just me on an AGR fan account. That's crazy to me. Like, I know that seems kind of stupid, but that is just genuinely pretty cool to me, because I definitely find it hard to get into kind of communities like this. Like, this one's not necessarily the biggest community ever, but it's still a big community, and I definitely find it hard to kind of to stand down in the community or kind of make a difference in a community like that. And the fact that I was able, what I was able to bring to the concert, what I was wearing, was able to make that much of impact that I got into an account like that was really cool. I even got I posted my thing to Twitter, and one of the official AGR accounts was able to like it. I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. This is so cool. It wasn't the official AGR account, by the way, just not to get anyone exciting. It was their AGR street account, something kind of just an account to mostly promote AGR and kind of support what they're doing, but it is nevertheless an official AGR account, which is very cool. So that was definitely a very cool, experience to have before the show. And obviously the show itself went in about, I want to say 80% of the time, my mouth was wide open. And actually, before I go into this, if you don't want to get spoiled by this tour, if you're someone who's maybe, is planning to go see it and, want to keep yourself spoilers free, I would definitely come back to this podcast episode until you're after. Stop right here. I don't think I've spoiled anything yet, so I think we're all good. But, stop right here. Come back to this after you come to the show, and this episode will be very much made for you. And, this episode's made for everyone, but also you will kind of understand my excitement with how the show was. Because, holy fuck, that show, yeah, it was amazing. I had to keep looking over at Christian. I'm like, is this shit really happening right now? It was one of the best things I've ever experienced, to be honest with you. It was just really cool, and definitely solidified my, being affiliated with the AGR. Yep, I am a fan of them. I'm gonna be following them forever. This is a long time thing. I'm following them. I want to see where they go. This is awesome. This is sick. That night going home, like, holy shit, that is the greatest thing ever. And also, I found out that the creator of Phineas and Ferb, I'm blanking on his name right now, but you know the guy, the guy who, yeah, you know the guy, well, I'm not explaining this, that guy was at the AJR concert. I don't know, like, oh my god, like, I don't, it was a very interesting night. It was very fun, and, oh my god, it was cool. I am extremely lost for words on how it was, and I don't think I could explain it, especially if you're not someone who is an AJR fan. But it definitely was a big inspiration to kind of keep pushing forward with this YouTube stuff, and kind of just keep doing it. It was unbelievably cool. So yeah, if you want to go check them out, I would check out their concert if they're coming to your city. I know they have a few more cities left, but they have hit most of them. But it was pretty amazing. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So yeah, pretty much I think that's most of the stuff I wanted to cover about or about being myself. The concert, not much more happened besides a lady gave me a sticker about, like, I don't exactly remember what it says, but like, you only live once, like, be naked or something like that. It was not like an AJR fan. It was just a random person, random LA person, just trying to prey on AJR fans. But we look past that. Just overall, it was a very cool experience, and I'm glad I was finally able to go into one, and I'm definitely going to the next one and the one after that. So I am actually here gonna play a small clip that I recorded myself of the opening of the tour. It is, I mean, it's a little bit lengthy. It's a little bit lengthy clip. So if you want to skip past this, I'll put a time code on the screen now. If you just want to skip to the second part where I talk about being yourself. So here is that clip.
If you could snap your fingers and go anywhere at all, where would you go? Would you go to the bottom of the sea, where none of your problems could find you? Or would you go back to that first snowfall from when you were a kid? The one that doesn't quite feel the same now that you're all grown up. Would you face your worst fear? Or maybe you go to that party you were never invited to. Oh my god, no, not that. Would you go to the future? Or would you go
back to before you were born, when everybody talked like this for some reason?
Maybe you go here, or here, or here, or maybe here, or here. Maybe you go here. Or would you rather be standing here right now, surrounded by thousands of people who, for once, like all the same shit you do? Well, all right then. Let's go there.
Wish I was a star, so I could be here. Even in my face, it'd be no big deal. But I miss the way we make up and smile. Don't wanna be stoned, I'll change my mind. I wish I had eyes in the back of my head. Then I could see the places I've been. But then I would know that you're talking shit. I don't wanna know what my friends think. Wish I were my dog out on the lawn. I'd be so glad when I hear you come home. But if I were my dog, I wouldn't think long. I'm sure gonna miss her when she's gone. I wish I could act in a show on TV, 'cause then I could practice not being me. I'll practice my cry, put it into my reel. But you won't believe me when I cry for you. I wish that my brain would trip inside. I'd nail every joke, I'd win every fight. but I get too deep with that kind of mind. I don't wanna know the point of life. In some other life, I would be rich. I travel in style, I cover the bill, but couldn't complain about anything small. Nobody feel bad for me at all. If I was cocaine or a bottle of Jack, I get invited to every frat. But when you get old and your good days are past, you only want me when you're sad. Wish I was the song your favorite one. You follow the dance to me at your prom. I would be there when your baby is born. But 2 or 3 minutes, then I'm gone. I wish I was big, as big as my house. I'd sleep on the trees, I'd skip every crowd. But I would in bed on my therapist's couch. God, I could really use them now. I wish I was God, I never dream of. And if I did, well, so fucking what? I could be cruel and break all your stuff. Yeah, I'd be loved no matter what. But if I was God, it'd get kinda weird. 'Cause you would only say what I wanna hear. And then you would die, you love me to death. I never know who the hell I am. Los Angeles! That's right, that's right. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again.
Okay, it is time to get to the second part about kind of why, the more interesting part of the podcast where we kind of reflect on this, about kind of being yourself and kind of how specifically also AGR has kind of affected what I do on here that's kind of relevant to more you guys, because I don't know if you guys have seen, but in my past videos, I have, in fact, used AGR music. And I think I've kind of already discussed why big inspiration just I have them, but I think it is just very cool using their music, and I definitely use it for a reason most of the time. If moving forward, I'm definitely using them for a reason all the time, but most of the time in the past, I use them for a reason. Whether if you watch lore, or you watched any of my rewinds, or any of my short films, there's a lot of places where I have used AGR music. Definitely rewinds, they are, I think, the most prominent there. The weird thing about AGR, though, is that there are a lot of people who actually hate them. And I mean hate them. And I find that really interesting. There are some people, like, in my friend group, or people I know that, like, especially hate them, but there's also other people on the internet that hate them. My friends definitely make a lot of jokes about hating them or kind of like disliking them, and they're jokes at the end of the day, so I'm like, whatever. But also sometimes they can overall just kind of get annoying over time, or just frustrating. Like, it's kind of like, I'm trying to enjoy this thing, and it definitely is like someone in my ears like, oh, this sucks. It almost feels like they're telling me, like, you shouldn't like this, and that definitely is very much, that kind of sucks. And or even online, people will just be like, oh yeah, AJR, this music sucks, or they'll just kind of say comments about either the artist or just the music themselves. I'm like, why are we doing this? I find it just extremely weird. Like, I get, like, not liking music. I am not here to say, oh, you must like AJR music and you can't say anything bad about them. It can only be positive. No, that's of course not the case. But there is a difference between not liking their music and hating someone, or hating a group of people, or hating music. Not liking something, you don't listen to them, but at the end of the day, it doesn't bother the person, unless it's being shoved in their face, which is completely understandable. You're just not a fan. You're not going to listen to their music, whatever. That's fine. End of story. That's how it should be if you do not like a specific music or someone's interest or something like that. You should not necessarily be hating on like artists or things, because here's the thing: if you don't like, for example, I'm gonna keep bringing up AJR. If you don't like AJR, there's no reason to hate on them. AJR has done nothing wrong to receive hate, or you should not hate someone who likes the MCU. Let's say the Marvel Cinematic Universe has not done anything wrong. Yes, you might not enjoy the type of movies they're playing, or like movies they're making, or kind of how the story is structured, but Marvel themselves has not. Okay, well, they have done some stuff wrong. Maybe this is a bad analogy, but let's pretend they did nothing wrong. Let's ignore them trying to crunch their own things. The Marvel movies themselves, there's no reason to hate them. I think like what people just need to start doing is like, okay, I don't like this. Don't interact with it. Just leave it be. If it's not hurting anyone or hurting like themselves, you don't need to like express your opinion like, I hate this. This sucks. I'm like, okay, cool, man, cool. Go do something else then. I don't know why you're kind of doing this, and I think that's definitely why a lot of people, aren't themselves, is because of what other people will say. And I think that just kind of sucks. Like, I did definitely mention this in Rewind, but it's like sometimes just with like seeing like all the AJR stuff, or just hearing what people are telling about, what people are telling about me, it can suck to be an AJR fan, because you're being told that this music is not good, and you want to like something that people are like, oh yeah, dude, I like that too. That is awesome that you like that, because that feels good. That's what makes friends. So it is like, it sucks how it is like that, and I think if you think you are just like doing that to people, definitely like reflect on that. It's like, listen, people can like what they want to like. I hope this is making sense. Just like, don't hate on people like that, because I'm sorry, I'm like lost for words, because this is definitely like something that I think is just stupid. But yeah, just like at the end of the day, it does suck, and I think definitely like in this, like, I think it is important that you're able to kind of embrace what you like, and to kind of just like block out the people who are like, actually that what you like actually sucks. So, these people should just, whatever artist is making this, they should stop, or you should stop listening to them, or you should stop watching them, or you should stop, doing this. Just ignore those people. it's pretty much the thing. And also, don't be that person. I think it is very important to kind of be yourself and embrace kind of who you are. And that's definitely kind of, I think in a day of age where, I feel like people are able to be very accepting of a lot of many things, and we are in a world where you very much can, like, be yourself entirely, which is awesome, that is so cool. And I think even AGR, as like the community, what I've experienced is that's very much the case with them, and that they will very much embrace people like that, and embrace, like, I can very much feel like I can 100% be myself around those type of people, and that's awesome, and that's very cool. Like, even in school, I've kind of I've just kind of like, fuck it. I don't care what these people say, because I like going to high school. People have warned me, do not mention your YouTube channel. People will make fun of you for it, and yeah, yeah, they will. And so for like freshman year and stuff like that, whenever just been something people asked about it or people ask what I do, I lie. I lie just so I can kind of fit in and get through. I'm like, whatever. I don't want to deal with it. But definitely, I think, especially this past year of high school, I've been like, you know what? I truly don't care what these people think about me. If what I say they really like make fun of or suck, I don't want to be around that person. I don't care what they think. That is irrelevant. I would rather just be myself and enjoy, like, find people who also enjoy things like me, and we just like talk about that. So I did start bringing up my YouTube channel. I even talked about it on my like school news. I'm like, I don't care. Yes, I do YouTube, and yes, even when I said that, there were still some people who made fun of me. There's people who actually blasted some of my content in some classrooms, and they try to make fun of me. Like, for example, on my YouTube channel, I have a song where it's the Bowser's Peaches song, but Wheaty is singing it, not me. Wheaty is singing it, and they saw it. And they're like, ha ha ha, yes, we found something to make fun of. So they clicked on the video and blasted, and like, oh my god, is this you singing? I'm like, no, that is in fact not me singing. And I'm like, why are you so petty where you have to try to like dig in there and kind of make fun of someone? Like, that is like, what? Like, it is. I just find that so bizarre. And I'm also very happy they didn't find a press rap, because that would have been much worse, and I would have made up that I have a little brother. So it, like, I think it is very important to be yourself, so you're able to surround the people around you, so like they can be proud of who you are and kind of like what you like, or what you dislike, and just like I don't even know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I definitely, like, for me, like, this is for New Bloom, the Minecraft server I run. This is very much something that we prioritize on there, and in the community I'm making here on YouTube, that is something else I am also very prioritizing. Like, if you're someone who will put people down just because of who they are, unless they are hurting someone or themselves, then that's a different story. But if they're hurting no one and you're trying to put them down, you don't belong in my community. In my community, you are able to be whoever you want, as long as it is not hurting anyone. I want to make that very clear. As long as you are not hurting anyone, it is fine to like whatever you want to like, or be interested in whatever you are interested in. So if you are someone who puts himself down, you might as well unsubscribe now, because you are officially not accepted on my channel, on my Discord server, or anywhere in my community. So that, I believe, is very important, and I think, if anything, be yourself. If you take anything away from this podcast, be yourself. Like how I as stupid as it sounds, as I am an AJR fan, and fuck the people who want to randomly just hate on AJR, or hate that I'm listening to AJR, or I'm excited for what music they're putting out or what concerts I'm going to. Whatever. I'm excited, and that's all that matters. And I enjoy this, and I'm there. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter what you say unless it's positive. So, yeah, I think I want to end off this podcast by showing actually the ending of the AGR tour I went to. They pretty much, it's kind of funny how it resembles this. Like in Rewind, if you watch one of my rewinds, you know how like pretty much the bridge of the video, like how there's a bridge of song, bridge of the video is very emotional. You know, it'll be very emotional, then it builds up to this big finale. HR Conscious do the exact same thing. So I'm going to show you that part of the bridge where I think it will very much relate to what this podcast is actually about, and is actually the reason why I decided to talk about this. Or at least one of the reasons. Also because I'm an AJR fan and everyone hates AJR's fans for some reason. I don't know what that's about. But I just want everyone to know that you are able to be yourself in my community, and I want to encourage you to be brave and to be yourself. I get it when there are times where it is just easier not to. I get that, and if there's small times like that, yeah, fine. Just always, whenever you're able to, be yourself. That is very important. I promise you, it will put you around people that you will want to be around and give you opportunities that you will want. And without further ado, I am now gonna play that clip. So thank you for joining this podcast, and enjoy the clip.
LA, if you've seen us before, you know we always like to do a big, crazy finale. But I'm gonna say something first, that's alright. LA, in the 18 years that we've been a band, one thing has been constant. There's always been some people who absolutely fucking hate us. It's true. No, it's true. I remember back in high school, some of the kids made like an anti-AJR club, is what they called it. And they would meet at lunch. They would really just sort of talk about how bad they thought the music was. And I don't know, maybe it was like the Broadway kind of sound we had. I really don't know. But at the end of the day, it made us feel really small. Fast forward 10 years, the band started to do a little bit better. We had meetings with record labels, and all of them said the same thing. They said, gonna put you in a room with writers, gonna change everything about you. Even today, LA, it's kind of hard to escape. You know, it feels like everyone on the internet has some kind of opinion about the things that we do on stage or the weird topics we write songs about. But every step of the way, there's been one thing that's kept us from listening to those people. And that, LA, that was our dad. Even up until last year, it was our dad who said, keep going, and eventually, one day, you will find some people who see the world the same way you do. He was right, and now he's gone. In an instant, he's just not here anymore. And my dad had his flaws, but one thing I could say about him is he was really, truly himself. Every inappropriate joke he made at a dinner party, every time he embarrassed us by wearing AJR merch to a parent-teacher conference, he was truly himself. And on his last day alive, we were in the hospital, joking around, saying goodbye. We asked him what his biggest piece of life advice was. And he said, don't ever spend 1 second of your life not being yourself. Go be the biggest version of yourself. And it's a scary thing to do, but I'm gonna say something right now that I've wanted to say for a very, very long time. Fuck those high school bullies. Fuck those record labels. Fuck the internet critics that don't get what we're doing up here. For the rest of our life, we're gonna stand on this stage, walking on treadmills, bringing shadows to life, singing our weird songs. Because Los Angeles, after 18 years, we finally found a room full of people that save the world the same way we do. This life is really, really short, guys. It's way too short to not be the biggest version of yourself. I wish I was me, whoever that is. I could just be and not give a shit. Hey, I'll be whatever makes you a fan. Cause I don't know who the hell I am. I think it's too late to figure this out. If I could be me, I would have been it by now. Maybe I'm a stone, like big as my house. It looks like our time is running out. So if this is me,
I'm all that I've got. Back in Los Angeles.